F1 had its final sprint of the 2024 season in Qatar. Just 2 more races now. 2 to go. The Drivers' Championship's locked up. It's over. Verstappen's won. But the Constructors' Championship, still a lot to fight for there with Ferrari and McLaren. And technically, Red Bull is still mathematically involved. But let's be honest, they're done. But yes, today we had the sprint. This is a track that McLaren was expected to be fast at. And, well, they were fast. And Lando Norris was on pole for the sprint. Oscar Piastri starting third. And Lando Norris got a good start. It's been a while since we've said those words, but got a good start from the front of the field. Was able to lead every single lap except for one. We'll talk about that in a minute. But throughout the sprint, we saw Max Verstappen get a bad start. And he went from 6th to 9th. Ends up, I think, finishing 8th. They said he scored the most points in sprint history. Barely got a point today. But we saw George Russell and Oscar Piastri have a couple of good battles. I mean, they lasted for about 2 corners each time. But it was something, I guess. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, they had a good little battle there for a few corners side by side. Doing their best not to wreck each other. Remember, those are future teammates. But other than that, not much of note until the end. As I said, Lando Norris led all of 1 lap. And, well, that is because on the last turn of the sprint race, Lando Norris pulled over. Let Oscar Piastri win. And here's why. Lando Norris was handed the sprint win in Brazil. Oscar Piastri led the majority of that sprint race. And Lando Norris was still technically in the Drivers' Championship battle at that point. So Oscar Piastri let his teammate by. Lando Norris gets the sprint win. Well, Lando Norris, and he was not instructed to do this over the radio. They may have had a conversation pre-race, I don't know. But over the radio, at least, there was no instruction to, because I will say it was a tight gap to Russell. Russell was right there. He was right behind Piastri the entire race, and it was quite the time to do it. It worked out. It worked out for him, but Lando Norris off the last corner lets Oscar Piastri by. Oscar Piastri wins the sprint. He gets repaid that sprint victory he gave up in Brazil, and instead he gets to win at Qatar. Instead, Lando Norris finishes second. He's able to hold off Russell for the last 100, 200, 300 yards or whatever, and Lando Norris finishes second. So Drivers' Championship is lost for McLaren, so there's no need to do all this flip-flopping. But Constructors' Championship, max points for McLaren. Big day for them. They extend their lead to 30 points, I believe. So, yeah, they've got themselves a 30-point Constructors' Championship lead. 2 races to go. They're going to hope to maximize it tomorrow in the main event. Because if they can, I think 44 points is the max you can get. If they can get it to that, or even if they can just keep this gap, that would be really nice heading into Abu Dhabi for the finale. But as I said, Piastri wins, was given a win by his teammate Lando Norris, but he also kind of got some payback in a sense because he gave Norris the win a couple weeks ago in the sprint. I don't think Lando Norris would have wanted to give that back in terms of a race win, so he figured last sprint of the year, let's try to make this happen. They made it happen. It was a little close for comfort, if you ask me, but they made it work. 1-2 for McLaren. George Russell off of his Vegas win. Mercedes, once again, looks pretty good. Finishes third here in the sprint. Good, solid race for him. Made some moves on Piastri. Just couldn't quite make him stick. Tried his best. 4th place, Carlos Sainz. 5th, Charles Leclerc. Once again, it's first or second for these teams for McLaren and Ferrari. So, falling short is falling short. They're not going to fall behind Red Bull, but ultimately they got points, but not a good day in terms of fighting McLaren because they were obviously off of them all day, and there's a little bit of a buffer because Russell is up there. Lewis Hamilton 6th. Nico Hülkenberg 7th. Really good day for him and Haas. They've had a good couple of weeks here. For Haas, gaining in the Constructors and finishing well in Vegas, and another good result for him. Max Verstappen is your last point scorer. Once again, Drivers' Championship's already locked up. I would think that I know they're still mathematically involved, but I would think that they've kind of given up the hope of the Constructors' Championship. When Sergio Perez gets eliminated in Q1 and then he does a pit lane start and then he gets passed on the pit lane because he doesn't know when to go. You would think that they'd surrender the Constructors Championship, but I'm not in the Red Bull garage, so I don't know what their mindset is right now. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. We got the main event tomorrow. Not much happened in the sprint, except for the ending. So, yeah.